Did an OTA. That's my old phone. OPA, right? Old phone audio. Just audio recording. Just an Android app that does audio recording. And then I've decided I'm going to start using this phone as my parrot of record, as opposed to my production parrot, if you will, the new camera. I've got a nicer one. I've got. They're not all that new, but you know, it's fine piece of electronics here, so, and optics too. It's a Canon that is a 2000X was digital zoom, but it has quite a significant zoom just by the lens. I think that's why it's so long, and it's great, and it really is. And I'm afraid it's going to break. I think it's starting to break, and I'm going to replace it if it breaks, unless I could definitely repair it. But I think it's time to get a new one, just because the door broke. This little thing broke. They fixed it for $40. I can't complain. But I think the things that I'm seeing happen, I mean, it's just stopping in the middle of a recording. Freezing up. That's not good. Not good. And I've seen these kind of symptoms in my audio recordings, because I have two of them. And actually the older one is my current one. Because, where are you? What? What? Yeah, I mean, my newer one I think is completely broken. And then I lent my older one to someone for a while, and she didn't do anything with it for like months, like 5 months, like, yeah, October, November, maybe October, really October until now, February, end of February. I finally got it back from her. I danced in front of the church that she works and lives in, this Danish church in Brooklyn Heights, and it was kind of ridiculous, you know. I gave it's about $140 worth of my stuff that I lent her specifically so that she could try something with recording. And I said, try anything. You don't have to share it with me or anything. 4 months later, I finally, and then over time, I said, look, if you're not doing anything with it, I need it back. I have very specific needs for it. And she, get back to me 3 weeks later. Oh, I'm sorry, I was away, blah blah. Okay, you were away. So are you going to do something to help so that I get it back, or are you just going to say, oh, I'm sorry, I was away, so that I need to come after you? So finally, I said, I'm on my way right by there anyway. I'm just going to pull up my car, open up the back, so that the music from my standard 11 songs, which actually I haven't been doing recently. Maybe it's time for me to get back, just to listen to it. Maybe I'll do it. Maybe I'll turn it on right now. In fact, I think I will, because I think it's good for me to do this, even if I might turn it off. I might decide, ooh, no, it's distracting. But I think I want to have in my mind that if I'm going to listen to music, this would be a good time to go back to something I was doing solely. I was just doing it. And I had said to myself, I'm going to just do it until I perform it for people or publish it. And, well, actually, I've done a lot of performing in general for people, and I've captured it. So it's recorded. It hasn't gotten published yet. And so I've actually moved on to some other things, and I think that's okay. But there's a part of me that just says, okay, but remember, you had this idea. Whether it was a great idea or not, it's an idea, and it's worth kind of checking out. Okay, is it really going to help me as I hypothesize? Truly going to help me to I'm going to get this thing down. This is way too high. Come on, you. There we go. Whoa, 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 be careful. Sorry. That's the thingy-mabobber that makes it go bobbing up. That's why it's called a thingy-mabobber, because it makes it bob up and down. Anyway, yeah, that's better. Much better. I could even see making it go lower. No, I think it makes sense. I'm at my desk. I'm looking up. In fact, I could see doing it a little higher, like there. I could even see it being, well, no, this is fine. But I'm thinking a little higher means, well, it's actually good for me. You know, it's something to remind me. Oh, yes, something to do. All the time. I don't. You know, a lot of people go to yoga or to a physical therapist, and they think, oh, that's when I do it. I do this thing at once a week or twice a week or whatever it is. Those times are for you to demonstrate and to practice with other people around. So then you do the same thing at home. Well, you don't have to do exactly the same thing. You don't have to remember the whole routine that your teacher probably spent quite a bit of time developing a routine. They don't, oh yeah, I know exactly what to do. No, they probably really worked hard at it. And you're not expected to be able to do, but actually, usually a teacher will not object to you recording your class. So, and so you go home and you listen to it. And you have the class, 5 times before the next class that you go to. You go through it, so we did this, and we did that, up, and, I don't know, I can't remember. She's not being all that clear because she's expecting us to see what she's... Okay, so let me really work on visualizing. What? Okay, she was talking about, let's see, where was I in that class? Was I near the front? Or to the side? All of that kind of work of like going over, reviewing, that's all developing your muscles, your cognitive muscles. The muscles, then you have so many different kinds. Memory retrieval muscles, perceptual muscles, interpretive muscles, imaginative, creative, protective. Ooh, stay away from there. Ooh, uh-oh, I think I'm going to have to fight this time. That's one of the most basic things, the fight or flight, which now is just, we don't have to do either now. So we frequently see things that in our imagination could be terrible, but they don't have terrible consequences. So then we don't. So what we learn to do is live with, like, being passive. Okay, nothing happened. That's good. I just stayed out of it. I didn't want to know anything about it. So good. Didn't affect me. Yeah, my neighbor got screwed, but I didn't. I feel sorry for my neighbor. I want to help them out. But thank God I didn't get screwed. As opposed to, if maybe my neighbor and I were maybe a little more frequently in touch with one another, and we were talking about the fact that there are those gangs over there. Things are getting out of hand now that a certain amount of law and order is broken out because, well, the dirty bomb went off in Manhattan, and now we are living on an island, a true island. It's even questionable whether, we're not even sure what we're going to do. Are we going to how are we going to get out of here? No, none of us have boats to get off this island. Swim on, well, I guess, the Verrazano. It's been jam-packed. It's been a parking lot for the last week and a half. People running out of gas. People getting into fights. Trying to get the hell off of this island. So, just accept it. Look, we have to accept that dirty bomb went off. Now we're okay. The prevailing winds are okay. We might, if we were careful, there are things we could do to make sure that, fallout, we're protected from fallout. Well, actually, dirty bombs don't give much fallout. They just radiate an area, which, well, but it radiates the dust. I guess that's the thing. It radiates dust, which then moves. So that's why you worry about the prevailing winds, as well as the unprevailing, as well as whatever winds, whatever direction winds can possibly take, and how far it can take. So we in Brooklyn, well, we have a good chance of being able to stay away if we know and we think about it. I mean, there's a chance. I mean, it would, you know, if there just happened to be a particular wind, I mean, we get northwest winds a lot. That would be just right from Midtown. Northwest winds would just drive the stuff right to us. It might be too late. We might already have radiation sickness. What are we going to do? Shit. On the other hand, maybe no. Thank God. There wasn't prevailing winds that way. And anyway, it turns out that this dirty bomb, I mean, it blew up low enough down that the area that got, you know, irradiated is really actually very small. And the amount of dust that actually, and you know, and it stopped because it's in a canyon area of buildings. It didn't blow up the buildings. It blew up one building, you know, but it's just all one building. And boy, I remember World Trade Center, the papers flying through the air. That was, you know, it was like a puzzler. What? I wonder what that's all about. And then when you see the, oh my God, to see the, well, by the time I saw one, the other one had been hit. Just. It got hit while I was on my way. I was with my son. It's like third day of school, public school, pre-K. These two teachers whom my son also had, and whom I knew, had known for a long time. I was PTA president of that school for a couple years, and so, you know, it was a great school, and I spent a lot of time there. And I knew all the teachers, these two teachers who had already had my son. My daughter didn't. My daughter started in kindergarten. She had a great teacher. She had a teacher who was also affected. Yeah, her husband was in, well, was a fireman, so gone. That day, just boom, gone. But so one of my son's two teachers is in an inclusion school. Every class had one special ed teacher, one general ed teacher, and then always at least one paraprofessional, and sometimes more. That was one of the things that allowed the school to be as good as it was for my kids. Allowed a, opportunity to see the classroom as made up of different groups, and realization that certain kids are going to need a lot of attention. They really need a lot of attention. And having the ability. It was a very good school. So here my son going, and one of his two teachers had two daughters working at the World Trade Center. One in the low building 5, where I actually worked a while back. People got out of that building. She also had a daughter in that company that lost so many people. Where the first plane hit, just hit right into that floor. And I think, well, I don't really know the details, horrible details. The hope is that she was one of those people who just, they're going along and all of a sudden, boom, obliterated. I mean, that's I wouldn't be my preference compared to the poor people who were sending emails to their families. I mean, that's very, the thought of saying goodbye in an email. No, this building's gonna collapse on you. You're gonna burn to death. You're gonna jump out the window from the 80th floor or something. It's to each other. They think we've got to do something about it. That's why that's why it took me a half a century to get my act together. I just never figure out what is going on. I don't know how to be successful in this world. And then I worked on it. Worked hard on it. Went back to school to become an occupational therapist, which is a very interesting field that very few people know what it is, even occupational therapists, because it doesn't pay that well. The money tends to be in, just demanding, but not, and sometimes very gratifying, but often not gratifying situation. So it tends to be for women. 85, 90% women. But it's got an interesting history, and occupation is meaningful activity. I mean, that's the definition. One of my occupations is to wear a hat with a bird on it. It's my occupation. Yeah, he's a bird hat wearer. Well, somebody's got to. I mean, what are they going to do? Just sit on shelves? I'm Godsford, and I'll talk to you later.